Okay, hey everybody. First, let me apologize because this is being done from my phone because I cannot find my battery backpack to the good camera. But let's get it. Let's go ahead right into it. For those of you who don't know, my name is Dia from Oasis. My channel is Oasis. But my name is Dia, and this video has been a long time coming. Many people ask, well, how is my natal chart analysis different from natal charts? Well, first of all, it's not your natal chart. It's a specific things in your natal charts that's being analyzed. That's you're getting analysis on. When most people, I have three basic services for my natal chart analysis, and that's relationships, money, and your personality. And those are the three things that people always ask for the most. So I decided to make three separate services as opposed to doing one whole natal chart. That way I could hone on and give special attention to each individual category as the person so chooses the service. So for this one, I'm going to use, well, I'll explain a little bit of the other two, but for this one, I'm going to use the personality one, the mini chart analysis that comes with the guided meditation as an example. So with all of them, what I do is I will go ahead and channel and tap into that person's higher self, and then once I tap into that person's higher self, I'll go and look into their natal chart as I'm connected to their higher self. So sometimes this is the reason why sometimes it may take a day or two or a little bit longer, because if your higher self is working on you, or if you're getting readings from other person, or if you're doing any spiritual meditations or open clearing your chakras, your higher self will tell me, no, I cannot tap into you at this time because something is being worked on, and whatever I get out of the reading, you may have already worked on it, so that doesn't benefit you. So I have to wait till your higher self, one, gives me the go-ahead to go ahead and tap in. Now, once your higher self gives me the go-ahead and tap in, that connects to your energy, then I go ahead and look at your natal chart. Now, this is no particular person's natal chart. This is actually the natal chart of yesterday. I just pulled up yesterday's date and just threw in, I forgot what time I threw in, just any time. So the first things first, for an example of the mini chart analysis, when most people send you in your chart, whether you get a free one offline or whether you pay somebody to do a chart, they'll look at your sun sign, they'll look at your moon sign, and they'll look at your ascending sign. And from those three aspects, they'll go into your personality. Now, that's not wrong, but that's not a more in-depth look of your whole personality. So let's just assume this is Sally. So Sally has a sun in Virgo, and her moon sign is in Aries, and she has a Sagittarius ascending, which is not bad. So from that, you can automatically say that I always say that your sun sign is how people see you, but not necessarily the whole of who you are. So people see her as a deep analytical person, and she has Mercury there, so people really see her as a deep analytical person. And this is also all going on in the 10th house. So what is going on in the 10th house, this is showing that you will get good. You're known. This is what you're known for. This is what you get public recognition for. You're able to be very detailed in your projects or anything they do. Well, Sally is. And with the moon sign may cause a bit of a problem, but not too much, because the moon sign is in Aries. So at that moment, what that person truly feels is what really is to them in their eyes. Now, they may feel differently the next moment, but each thing that they feel, they truly feel to the depths. To them, it's not fake. To this particular person, it wouldn't be fake, while to other people, it may come off as fake and phony, or they're crazy, or they're always emotional. But to them, um, this particular person will always, no matter what they're feeling in that moment, they're feeling it, and it's their total truth. And with Uranus being there, they would have to be a little bit cautious, because Uranus is very creative, and it's also a highly thinking planet too. So with that being there, they would have to be a little bit cautious of how they present their thoughts to other people. Also, all this is going on in the fifth house, and the fifth house is very creative. Um, the fifth house is a very creative house. It's also a house for casual sex. So, one thing, and I'll get back to this house again when I explain a little bit when I go into relationships. So, let me come step out of the fifth house for a second. Now, their rising sign is just Sagittarius. So, Sagittarius is a deep understanding sign. So, from that, I can automatically see that they have very good analyzation skills, and they have a deep understanding, a deep inner knowing things without knowing. Now, what I do is I don't stop there. I look at other houses. I go into your fourth house, which really doesn't have much in it. But in your third house, which is how you think, there's Neptune, and Neptune is a spiritual sign. And Neptune is a beautiful spiritual sign, but it's an inner beauty and an inner spirituality. It's not like Venus is more so new material stuff, while Neptune be more so the inner beauty, the more spiritual side of beauty. But that is opposing. Um, but you have that opposing the sun sign. So if that, you have your great analytical skills, but you also have a deep spiritual skill. So you're probably always deeply analyzing not only your spirituality and going deep in depth with that with their spirituality. They're also analyzing other people's spirituality. And the problem with that is people do not like you analyzing their spirituality. Now, even though this particular person sadly would be doing it just to get a better understanding of their spirituality, to them it'll come off as they're being a butthole and they're just trying to be smart and they're just trying to mess up their beliefs. So so that's the other thing that I would look at. And now then I'll look at I'm sorry. Then I will go into the second house. The fourth house I would look at, but there's nothing really there except for Pisces. So that would let me know that let me know right there that there's just a tad bit of imbalance with the way they grew up, with their nurturing aspect of how they grew up. Um, so over here you have Pluto and Capricorn. So Pluto and Capricorn will let me know that they're always transforming what they have. They're not a person who clings to things. They're always throwing things out. They're always going new and renewing themselves all the time, because this is the second house, and the second house deals with your material, what you have. At least in my eyes, it deals with your possessions and your physical personality. So they're always changing. They're always be creative, which is amplified by Uranus in the fifth house, which is a very creative house. Under the sign of air, inside of Aries, and Aries is who you are. So this person is a very creative person. They will be a very spiritual person, and I also say spiritual because they have Saturn in their 12th house. And this house is Scorpio, and the 12th house is past lives, but secrets and everything. So they'll probably have a lot of enemies, but their enemies will be more so not the material enemies, but more so the people who keep around them and their belief system. They will have to watch out for that and watch out for not making enemies. And like I said, you can easily see that. You can easily see how this person may, just by naturally asking questions so they can get a deeper understanding, they might offend people and start making enemies in that area. So that's how I would look into this person's chart from any analysis, and I would give them all that. I would also give them their strong keys, which is their analyzation skills, and they're able to balance, and they have. If I was to go deeper, I would look at this one too with the Venus and Uranus oppositions. Now, most people tell you oppositions are bad. They're not. Oppositions is just something that you can either go to the extremes, one in or the other, or you can stay in the middle and balance them and make it work for you. So, with that, I would tell this person, I would give them a meditation, and more so, I would give them a meditation that had to deal with balancing, and it had to deal with looking at things from not necessarily other people's point of view, because this person does see it from the other person's point of view, but but this person would view it from the other person's unconscious point of view and not their conscious point of view. So I would give a meditation that would deal with looking at things from the other person's conscious point of view, from seeing things from other person's perspective of what they see and not what's behind what they see or the outlining cause of what they see. I will give them one that will help them focus and stay in the third world plane or in the third dimension when having conversations with people and not going too deep. So that's how that will work for a mini chart analysis with a guided meditation. Now, for the relationship, the biggest confusing thing is when I do the relationship analysis is that most people think it's a compatibility chart. It is not. A compatibility chart is when I would take this chart and then have your lover's chart or your potential lover's chart on the side, and I would compare them to see if y'all are a good matchup. That's a very ancient technique. They do it many different ways, and not always with a natal chart. And it's something that is great for you to do, but that is not what I do. For a relationship chart, I look specifically at your chart to see see what energies you contracted with when you incarnated into this lifetime for relationships. And again, for this, I will go into the fifth house, the seventh house, um, In the eighth house a little bit, and I will also go and see. Again, I will go into this house too. And so for this house, for this one, use an example really really quick for this thing cut off. Um, I would look at the fifth. See, the fifth house is very creative, but it's also very sexual. So this let me know what Uranus there and Aries are. Whoever they're with at the moment, they truly love that person. They're truly in love with that person. But because Pluto's in the second house, which is always recreating them, the other person may look at them as totally unstable. They're always recreating themselves. They're always renewing themselves. Different hairstyles, different makeup, different ways of thought, different books. Totally redecorating their home, everything. But also with Uranus there under Aries in the fifth house, it's a highly sexual house. So there's this person, and when you go to some houses, nothing there. So when we get to the eighth house, you have wait a minute. Yeah, when you get to the eighth house, you have Jupiter there, which is always expanding somebody's emotions. So with this person, I would say they did not come here to get married. They came here to have many many loves and many, many lovers. And normally most people know they'll feel that. And one of the main reasons for doing that is over here. You can see over here where they have Venus under Libra, which is balancing. So what they really do is they meet person, they fall in love with them, they balance that person's energies out, and then they'll be unattracted to them anymore, or the other person will get unattached, and then they just seem to fall off and they go to the next. And it keeps repeating and repeating and repeating. Now, so that's how I explain them and how that works. So that if they wanted to settle down with one person and get married, they would need to find somebody who's just as creative with them, so that they both can keep recreating themselves over and over and over again together in every way, and keep expanding ideas. And they also need a highly intellectual person to keep in those intellectual conversations stimulating and always bringing in new ideas. So that's how I would analyze this person if I was looking at their relationship side. Now, don't have much time left to focus on the money and finances, but that's the same thing. So as you can see, when I do the charts, I go specifically to those direct areas, and for each person, it's not always the same house. Like I said, tap into their higher self to see which houses that their higher self wants me to focus on the most, and I pull out the information. And I pull out the information. Not only do I tell you what's there, I tell you how to work with it so it can benefit your life. So that's how my natal chart analysis services work. I hope you understand more now. And if you have any questions, just email me. Put a comment under the video. And everybody stay blessed. Peace.